Hey Adoni, have you thought about
So,
what's Indonesian national hero we should choose for our history and civics assignment? Well, the deadline is coming up fast.
oh, I was thinking about choosing the Habibi. Even though he might not be a traditional warrior or someone from the colonial era, but he is definitely a modern hero who fought for our country through intellect, science, and technology.
Oh, I really love that choice. So, the father of technology in Indonesia, well, his struggle wasn't on literal battlefield with weapons, but in the classroom, the library, and the aviation lab. But wait. Do you think the teacher will accept him as a hero in the traditional sense?
Absolutely should. Heroism isn't just about physical warfare. It is about lifting a nation dignity on the global stage where where should we start this story to make our point?
We should probably start from the beginning. In his early life in Parepare, South Sulawesi, and his absolute dedication to studying. Did you really know he lost his father when he was only 14? So his mother had to care to the family and find a way to finance his education.
Right. And that fierce determination took him all the way to Germany. He studied aerospace engineering at RWTH Aachen, if I'm not mistaken. But it wasn't a smooth ride. He had to battle several health issues like a serious lung condition and intense financial hardships. He used to walk miles in the freezing snow just to save money on bus fare.
And yet, he graduated with the highest honors. So what blows my mind is his actual scientific contribution. So we should mention the Habibi factor or the crack progression theory in our assignment. Before him, aircraft accidents due to structural fatigue were a massive mystery. He calculated exactly how cracks propagate in aircraft structures, which made flying infinitely safer worldwide. And then he became a vice president at a major German aerospace company, MBB.
Yeah, exactly. He was at the absolute peak of his career in Europe, but then came the massive turning point in his life. In 1974, President Suharto called him back home to build Indonesia technology and industrial sector. He gave up his high-paying job, his comfortable life, and his brilliant career in Germany without a second thought.
That is just incredible, to live a secure, wealthy life in Europe out of pure love for a developing nation. When he came back, he established IPTN. It is now is PT Dirgantara Indonesia. And that brings us
Yeah.
to his crowning technological achievement in 1995.
Yeah, the historic flight of the what is it? N250 Gatot Kaca. Yeah, I have watched old footage of that. On August 10, 1995, the plane took to the skies. It was the first commuter aircraft designed entirely by Indonesians, utilizing his advanced fly-by-wire technology. The whole country held its breath. And when it landed safely, people were crying tears of joy.
It is proof to the world that Indonesia wasn't just an agrarian society. We could master the most complex engineering on earth. But you know what's tragic, Donny? Just a few years later, the 1997 Asian financial crisis hit and the IMF. forced Indonesia to stop funding the aircraft project. So it must have broken his heart.
Oh yeah, yeah, it did. But his struggle didn't stop at technology. In fact, his ultimate task was his beginning. He was suddenly thrust into the absolute center of Indonesian politics during the 98 Reformation, with President Soeharto resign. Habibie, as a vice president, was sworn in as the third president of Indonesia. And the country was on the brink of total collapse and chaos.
Ah, man. Talking about being handed the ultimate crisis, most people thought he wouldn't last a month. He was a few as part of the old regime. Yet he surprised everyone by doing the exact opposite.
Ah, yeah, he really did. Even though his presidency lasted a little over a year, but he achieved the impossible. He stabilized the crashing rupiah, granted total freedom of the press, released political prisoners, and laid the literal foundation for Indonesia's modern democracy by organizing a free and fair election in 1999. He chose country over power.
You're right. His dedication to Indonesia was truly absolute. Whether it was a blueprint for a plan or a blueprint for democracy, he just wanted the nation to fly high. What would you say is the main lesson we can take away from his life for our conclusion?
I think the biggest lesson are through patriotism and lifelong learning, if I can say. Habibi show us that loving your country isn't about slogans. It means giving your best intellect, your skills, and your hardest work to it. Plus, we can't forget it. Forget his integrity and deep loyalty not just to his country, but also to his wife, Ibu Ainun. Yeah. Their love story taught us a whole generation about devotion.
I completely agree with you. His life is the perfect example of how knowledge, faith, and maybe love for the nation can create a lasting impact that outlives the person.
I know, right? And I guess that's all I can say about BJ Habibie.
All right, then. Thanks.